Welcome to my very short recap of Game 1 of the 2023 FIDE Women's World Chess Championship. Now, I did do a short recap of every single game in the 2023 World Chess Championship between Jan Nepomniachtchi and Ding Liren. I don't know if I'll get a chance, if I'll have time, to do a short recap of every game of the Women's World Chess Championship. The idea is to skip through most of the moves that didn't make a difference and see if I can find something that did make a difference, something that I can learn from, hopefully something that you can learn from. Now, I am just going to spoil it right up front in case you haven't heard the news, because I don't know how to remove the 1/2 from this screen, so it already shows right there that it was a draw. The defending World Women's Chess Champion is at the top with the black pieces, and the challenger is at the bottom with the white pieces. They're both from China, and so this championship is being held in China. I also wanted to throw in that I did notice a distinct lack of promotion of this event compared to the one earlier this year between the two men. Now, I know it's not the World's Chess Championship, and I know that the other one is open to both men and women, whereas this one is only open to women, but I still would have liked to have seen a lot more promotion of this event than I did see. For example, FIDE took its time getting the website up. They've tweeted far less about this than they did about the other one. There was a whole page on their official website focused on the attractiveness or relative attractiveness of the women, bringing beauty into chess or something like that, which is something you would never see when two men are playing. Not trying to get into a whole political thing, but I think we can all agree that we'd like to see more women and girls in chess than we do currently. It's a pretty low percentage right now. And stuff like this bothers me a little bit because I have a daughter that I want to grow up thinking she has equal chances with men in a lot of things. But anyway, let's see what we can learn from this game. I did notice that the game review on Lichess said that neither player had a mistake, neither player had a blunder. They played with 97% accuracy, both of them did. However, the defending champ did have one inaccuracy, but it was at a point in the game where it didn't seem to affect the rating that much. I've already run through these one time, so I'm going to try to go through here and see what we can figure out. They did open with a Ruy Lopez, which I recognize from this position here. Usually what I see at my level at this point is the A pawn being pushed to get this bishop to go back, and then the B pawn getting pushed to get the bishop to go back again. But apparently at the Grandmaster level, you do not see that because that's not what happened here. We got knight to F6. Here, after 22 moves, the evaluation shows the game at 0.0, which means neither side has any advantage whatsoever as long as both of them play what they're supposed to. I do notice on the graph from the Lichess game review that here white began to gain a very slight advantage, and I'm going to see if I can understand why. Here, Stockfish recommends playing bishop to f5, which is here, I assume, aiming for this c pawn down here at the bottom, but instead the defending champ brought the rook over to challenge this bishop. According to the engine, there's only one good place to move it, and that's here to e5. Now again, the defending champ did not play the absolute best move. According to the engine, that is knight to a6. I don't know that I would have played that. What she did play was knight to d7, which is listed as her third best move. That looks a lot more sensible to me. Again, I'm not sure what a6 would have done, except maybe aiming to come down here into b5, aiming for this pawn, since she didn't put the bishop over here earlier. But I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, she played knight to d7, which again aims for the bishop. But the bishop is defended, so Stockfish says you don't need to worry about it, but it is time to move this one out because that pawn is now vulnerable. The knight's just gotten out of the way of this rook, so the rook can hit this pawn now. So we need to protect that pawn, not by moving it forward or moving the rook back. Sorry, I don't know how to get the arrows off of there. This board reacts differently than the other boards and the other screens on Lichess. Both chess.com and Lichess do that. It's a little frustrating. The engine says the best way to protect this pawn is bishop to d3, and that is what the challenger played. Stockfish says to go ahead and take the dark squared bishop, which she did not do. That was the second best move, but she was supposed to have taken the bishop. It looks like the evaluation is very similar between the two. But a few moves later, f5 was not listed as an inaccuracy here, but this is the highest advantage that either player had for the entire game. White has a plus 1.4 advantage. Now they are exactly even on material, other than one side having two bishops where the other side has a bishop and a knight. That's I guess the main imbalance in this position. And Stockfish says the way that the challenger playing with the white pieces could have taken advantage of that 1.4 would have been to play bishop to b4, which looks like it's hitting this knight down here. And I guess I see that because that knight's the only thing defending this light squared bishop, which the rook is currently pointed at. Again, I can't get the arrows to disappear. How frustrating. Thank you, Lichess. Stockfish says if she had played bishop to b4 here, threatening that knight, which is the only thing defending the bishop, that instead of moving to defend the bishop, perhaps by moving the rook up or something like that, that the best move would have been to play king to f7, which I guess defends the bishop from the rook's attack. But instead, the challenger took the offered pawn on f5, and it takes us back to 0.9, which is still a more significant advantage at the grandmaster level than it is at our level. But from here on out, both players played their best moves, or among their best moves for several moves, until that advantage whittled itself back down to near 0. Here we're at 0.2. And for black, the engine recommends b5 at this point, at which looks like there would be a pawn trade there, or rook to e5, which I guess also defends the b5 square, or rook to c8, which aims at this pawn down here. The next move is the only inaccuracy listed in the entire game, according to this game review, which was king to f7. But as you can see, the evaluation only changed to 0.5. And the engine lists 2 moves that would maintain 0.5. One is rook to c3, or king to e2. Well, she played one of those, but the evaluation drops a little bit. But then after king to f6, it comes back up to 0.6. But then a couple of moves later, we're at zeros, and it stays at zeros for the rest of the game. And it doesn't say it here, but it looks like the players agreed to a draw because I don't think there was a repetition. And it's certainly not a stalemate position or insufficient material. So they must have agreed to a draw here after 50 moves. I'll admit that that one inaccuracy that was listed, I don't understand exactly why it was an inaccuracy. And as it turned out, it didn't seem to matter. And in the other place where white got the evaluation up to 1.4, but didn't fully take advantage of it with the bishop move, I admit I don't understand that either because it looked like there was a way to continue protecting the bishop even after the knight was captured and traded for the bishop. But that's game 1 of the 2023 FIDE World Women's Chess Championship, which is currently being held in China. I believe the games start at something like 2 a.m. my time, so I'm not able to watch them live. They're over by the time that I wake up. And unlike the previous chess championship between Nepomniachtchi and Ding Liren, this time, when I open YouTube, nothing about this is recommended to me. For that last one, every time I opened YouTube in the morning, there were several live streams or previously recorded live streams that were immediately recommended by YouTube. You'll probably be interested in these games. This one, there was nothing. I had to go searching for it. And as always, when I look for master games, it wasn't perfectly easy to find on either chess.com or Lichess. Again, you had to go looking for it. But I'm interested to see how the rest of the tournament will turn out. Obviously, since both women are from China, no matter who wins, the World Women's Chess Champion will be from China this year. And I think because Ding Liren, who's from China, won the World Chess Championship earlier this year, I think it'll be the first time that the World Chess Champion and the Women's World Chess Champion are both from China. You'll correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Thank you for spending your time here, and I'll see you next time.